This is the Look Back Wrestling Show, and I'm your host, Ali Zakka. What's up, world? How you guys doing? So on this week's episode of Look Back Wrestling Show, we're going to look at this past week Raw and Smackdown, and we're going to look at the WrestleMania Preview. So let's jump into it. So Raw opens up with a press conference. Triple H and Stephanie McMahon comes out and they have a talk between them and Kurt Angle and Ronda Rousey. Now, one thing I noticed out of this was Stephanie McMahon singing her theme song when she came out. I thought that was pretty hilarious. You usually don't get to see wrestlers like jam out to their own song. So I was like, oh, that's pretty neat. And pretty much this press conference is about their build up at WrestleMania, about their build up to WrestleMania and all the smash talking and how they feel about each other. And there's a segment where Ronda Rousey was delivering her line and she kind of got stumbled up, but the crowd started cheering anyway. She was asking Stephanie McMahon what hand she right with, and Stephanie's like my right hand, of course. And Ronda's like, that's good. I just want to make sure you can still write my checks. And she paused, crowd popped and everything, but because she didn't finish it, and then she finally finished like after I crushed it. Anyway, they get into each other's faces, a little back and forth. They get into each other's faces, and they're going over like the handshake. And Ronda Rousey wants to shake Stephanie McMahon's hand. Well, Stephanie started jaw jacking to Ronda, then Ronda got in Stephanie's face as Kurt Angle was going trying to separate the two. Triple H used the mic and knocked Kurt Angle out the ring. Ronda grabs Triple H by the neck, and then Stephanie came out of nowhere, picks up Ronda and put her through the table. And that's the end of that segment. I'm kind of excited for this match at WrestleMania because I have no idea who's going to win. But I'll talk about that later. Bayley versus Sonya Deville. It was a back and forth match. Bayley does get the victory. Then Absolution started to jump Bayley. Out comes Sasha Banks. They get rid of Absolution. And Sasha asked Bayley to raise her hand. She's like, raise my hand. Bayley's like, I'm not going to raise your hand. Why? And Sasha's like, I saved you. Raise my hand. Bayley said, no. So Sasha decided to shove Bayley in her face. Bayley starts attacking Sasha. They go at it. Absolution come in and beat down both of them. And Absolution walks away standing tall with Sasha and Bayley laid out in the ring. Finn Balor versus Seth Rollins with The Miz on the mic. The Miz just had the birth of his baby girl, so good for him. He don't have to worry about that at WrestleMania. But he's now a new, I guess, a proud father, a newborn father. He's a father, let's put it that way. And but anyway, to the match. So Seth and Finn, it's a great match. They go back and forth. It's a phenomenal match with Seth Rollins getting the victory. So you know who's not going to win at WrestleMania. The Bar comes out and they pretty much tell Braun Strowman they don't care who your partner is, whoever they are, whoever the partner is, we're gonna beat you guys regardless. Braun Strowman comes out and he's like, I do have my partner. He's actually here right now. And he walks backstage. And he walks out. Braun Strowman's wearing this button-up shirt with glasses on. And he's like, my brother is known as Braun, but I'm Brain Strowman. And Corey Graves is the best reaction of the night. He's sitting there oh my gosh, the gene pool in the Strowman family runs so deep. Oh my gosh, you look just like it's his identical twin. While Michael Cole and Coach is like, Corey, what? Calm down. Braun gets in the ring, or should I say, Brains gets into the ring, and then he decides to take off his disguise. And then Corey goes, oh my gosh, it's Braun Strowman. So over the top, so goofy. It was priceless. I think he's literally one of my best favorite announcers of all time now. He's like Jim Ross, Corey Graves. Change them interchangeably. Fight me on that. Anyway, the comment section below was just go on fire. He said Corey Graves better than Jim Ross. Anyway, Braun Strowman get jumped by the Bar, but he's able to push off the Bar and pretty much fight them both off. The Bar gets out the ring. They walk away with Braun Strowman standing tall. And another segment I want to cut to towards the end of the night. Braun's approached by Heath Slater. That'd be another guy. Braun's approached by good old Kurt Hawkins. And Kurt's like, dude, this could be a big break. Please shoot me as your tag team partner. And Braun's like, well, you want a big break? And he throws Kurt into a wall. He's like, there's your big break. And he walks off. So cross out Kurt Hawkins for the tag team partner, Braun Strowman. Matt and Goldust have a couple backstage segments with Matt Hardy versus Goldust. Woken Matt Hardy gets the victory with a twist of fate. Surprise there. Both of them will be in the Andre the Giant Battle Royale. Okay. John Cena comes out one more time. He calls out the Undertaker. He's like, we haven't done it in the city of Atlanta. Let's give it a shot. No call from the Undertaker. But before he does that, he does like picks out a bunch of cards like AJ Styles versus Nakamura, Rusev Day, the New Day Usos, the Bar, Braun Strowman. Like he just goes down a list of a bunch of people, and he was like, well, I guess I'll be at WrestleMania as a fan. So I'm looking forward to seeing how John Cena opens up WrestleMania. And I think he should just open up sitting in the crowd. That'd be priceless. Speaking of Heath Slater, Elias Sampson comes out, try to do a song and everything. He gets interrupted by Heath Slater, and he pretty much beats Heath Slater, and Elias wins. So Elias has won 2 matches in a row now? Okay. Do you have a Nia Jax face promo where Nia Jax kind of like breaks down and pretty much cuts a face promo and just saying like she will squash Alexa Bliss because bullying is not allowed, and all right. And then speaking of Alexa Bliss and Mickie James are backstage segment with the words on the screen, and all I'm thinking about this is like, why is Mickie James with Alexa Bliss? They had this blood feud back in last fall where Alexa Bliss was like just pretty much calling Mickie James old and decrepit and all this stuff, and now here are friends again, which makes no sense. Like Alexa Bliss has shown that, just like Kevin Owens, she's not a good friend. She will backstab you. She's backstabbed Mickie. She's backstabbing Nia right now, and for some reason, the person she backstabbed is still on her side. Like, I don't get it. Same thing with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Kevin Owens has backstabbed you before, Sami, but yet you're still right there. But I guess they cleared it up by saying Sami and Kevin are so competitive that they will attack each other every once in a while to pretty much get to the top. But Mickie James and Alexa Bliss, what's the benefit of Mickie James hanging around Alexa? Anyway, we get a match between Asuka and Dana Brooke versus the aforementioned Mickie James and Alexa Bliss, which is actually like a very long match. Dana Brooke was pretty much like in a handicap match for most of the match, where she was cut off from Asuka and just keep getting beat up by, Mickie and Bliss. Finally gets in Asuka. Asuka comes in, pretty much cleans house, and gets the victory by making Mickie James tap. And as she got Mickie James to tap, like Alexa Bliss comes in, and Alexa Bliss and Mickie both like jump Asuka, and then Dana Brooke comes and help, but she gets taken out, which caused Nia Jax to run out there for the save. She finally gets a hold of Alexa Bliss, but Mickie stops Nia from doing any damage. Alexa Bliss runs off while Mickie James gets squashed by Nia. My whole thought about this is Dana Brooke came out of nowhere, and I'm perfectly fine with that. I'm perfectly fine that Dana Brooke got a victory. She was in a tag team with Asuka. That's perfect. Glad Dana's getting some kind of, a win to her win-loss columns. Before this segment happened, we had a few backstage segments with Kurt Angle talking to Paul Heyman, saying like, hey, I don't want anything to happen between Brock and Roman, so please don't ruin this. Don't say anything that entice Roman Reigns. Then Kurt goes, he talks to Paul Heyman, and he also talks to Roman Reigns throughout the night and say, hey, Roman, do not go out to the ring and try to fight Braun Strowman and Brock Lesnar. I will have to put people up there against you if you try to go break this up and stop him. Which he did. He had about 12 superstars, The Bar, Titus Worldwide, and a few, The Revival, and a few other guys. I think Heath Slater and Rhino was in there too. Pretty much beat a barricade between Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman. And Roman Reigns actually stayed in the back for a while until Paul Heyman called Roman Reigns the B word and said he will always be Brock Lesnar's B word. So we just called Roman Reigns to come out. The superstars get in front of Roman and say they're not letting you go by. And Roman is like, hey, man, y'all gonna sit there and protect this part-timer who pretty much talk crap on all y'all and doesn't really care? And Cesaro and Sheamus talk about it. Titus Worldwide, Titus looking like, okay, Apollo Crews and them, they're all talking about it. And they finally stepped aside and let Roman Reigns go down to the ring, and pretty much he and Brock Lesnar stare each other down, circling each other. Brock Lesnar gets out the ring, gets a chair, comes back in the ring. As he's about to attack Roman, Roman hits him with 5 Superman punches, and he starts to stand tall like he just did something, about to celebrate. But as he's about to celebrate, Brock pops up, hit him with an F5, gets out the ring, and that's the end of Raw. So for a go-home show, to me, I heard a lot of people talk about they wasn't really excited about the go-home show. They thought the go-home show didn't deliver. But to me, it did everything it needed to do for WrestleMania. It gave you all the promotions. It gave you the match card rundown. It told you who was in what matches. And it had a segment of everybody in it. Even people from SmackDown had segments on Raw. So, to me, it did its job. It just put to sell you on the point of WrestleMania. And this WrestleMania is so jam-packed. I don't think it needs to be sold itself. I think it already sold itself. With the cards and with the wrestlers on this card, I don't think WWE really needed to push that hard. They did a good job picking the matches. I don't think they really need to sell you on these matches because you're already interested in it. You're interested in seeing Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns after the WrestleMania 31 match, and you saw the build-up between WrestleMania 30 with Brock beating The Undertaker, and then last year with Roman Reigns beating The Undertaker. So they're comparing the two, Brock versus John Cena, Roman versus John Cena. They're comparing the two, and they both took out the same challenges, so it all came up to this one point. We've been waiting for this to finally get Roman Reigns that belt so we can get other people like The Miz, Balor, Rollins, Samoa Joe, other people to have that Universal Championship belt. So, yeah, I think this WrestleMania has sold itself way in advance. Heck, I was going to say when Jason Jordan versus Seth Rollins could have been a thing. This is huge. It's going to be a huge WrestleMania. SmackDown opens up with Daniel Bryan and Shane O'Mac coming out and selling their differences. They have all the talks and everything. They hug it out and pretty much say they're a team. They're ready to beat Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn and just make sure they don't ever step in another SmackDown ring ever again after WrestleMania. So that's the opening show. Then Charlotte comes out of nowhere and she walks to the ring. You kind of see Shane O'Mac get out the ring. He's in the corner clapping for her as Charlotte walks to the ring. And I was just kind of curious, what's with this whole overlap? Are they trying to save time so they don't cut the commercials? Just pop out Charlotte. Here she comes out. Which Charlotte and Natalya have another solid match. They did a good job in this match. I said they had given a lot of time. One thing I didn't like about this match is that the camera kept pointing out. They kept putting the camera on Natalya's face or Charlotte's face as they're pointing out spots or calling spots. And I was like, don't do that. There's a point where Natalya's on the floor after getting hit with something. She's on the floor laying down, and she looks over. Instead of looking up, she kind of looks over at Charlotte. Charlotte's leaning against the ropes, and kind of mother says, "Pin me, quick pin," kind of deal. And as her mouth is moving, the camera's literally sitting there on her face, and then it cuts away. I'm like, no, camera should not be there at all. One, it should not be there on Natalya, completely, blatantly staring at Charlotte after getting possibly knocked out. That was bad camera angles in that match, but it was a good match. I enjoyed it. And then Carmella comes in and cash in after they both knocked each other, after Charlotte and Natalya knocked each other out. Good old Carmella trying to come in and cash in the Money in the Bank briefcase again. But Charlotte pops right up, kicks the briefcase out of Natalya's hand, or out of Carmella's hand. And then they kind of about to fight each other. They had a little stare down. And Carmella tries to swing at Charlotte. Charlotte ducks and big boots Carmella out the ring. Here comes Natalya for the swoop. Natalya try to get the pin. 1, 2. Nope. Not a 3 like last week. Kicks out. And she gets put in a figure 8 with Charlotte getting the victory. Charlotte stands tall. All of a sudden, here comes Asuka. Asuka comes out and she's dancing around. So I'm going to beat you at WrestleMania because no one's ready for Asuka. I love this because Charlotte snatches the mic from Asuka and Asuka starts screaming. She's says something real loud and gets into Charlotte's face, and Charlotte's I'm ready for Asuka. And they kind of stare each other down for WrestleMania. After that, we get a bunch of promos getting you ready for WrestleMania. And then you get the glorious one, Bobby Roode, coming out to the ring. And he comes out. And I love Corey Graves because Corey's can I get a hallelujah? And Byron Saxton keeps saying hallelujah. And Corey's this is not an invite for you, Byron. Gosh, I love it. As a matter of fact, I love the SmackDown commentating team. Tom Phillips, Byron Saxton, and Corey Graves. They're just pure gold. I can listen to them on Raw. I can listen to them on NXT. NXT has a good one. So it's Mauro Ranero sometimes. He does that Mamma Mia. I'm God dang it. Why? But other than that, I can listen to them on every broadcast, I'll be completely happy and satisfied. Okay, so we get Jinder Mahal versus Rusev, but Sunil Singh comes out and he sings the entrance for, like, the intro for Jinder Mahal. Then Aiden English comes out and he does the same thing for Rusev. But I swear Aiden English has been studying The Rock's film, because he takes that huge pause like, Rusev Day. Like, he does the whole Rock kind of like, if you smell what The Rock is cooking. Like, I was like, he's been watching film on The Rock, and you know, it'd be pretty cool. You get a Rusev Day, The Rock and Aiden English crossover at WrestleMania. I would thoroughly enjoy that. But anyway, back to the match. Rusev wins. Rusev wins, and that means he might not win at WrestleMania, which is really disappointing. I'm sad right now because I wanted Rusev to win the title at WrestleMania, but it looks like he might not come out with that. Jinder Mahal is probably the only one who doesn't look strong in this, because Rusev beats Jinder. Randy Orton comes out of nowhere, strikes and hit Rusev with a surprise RKO, just random. Then Aiden English comes in and starts beating up Randy, and he's setting up Randy Orton for like a top line clothesline or something like that. But as he's getting ready to jump and like get ready to kind of like jump and attack Randy, he gets pushed off by Bobby Roode into another RKO, another catch RKO. And Bobby Roode hands the belt to Randy Orton and kind of stares down Randy, kind of like sign of respect. So Bobby Roode and Randy Orton kind of stare at each other and stand tall at the end of the night. Sorry about that. So I'm not sure if, you know, Jinder Mahal is the only one who really didn't look strong at the end of the night, which they could put the belt on Jinder. I don't see why not. It gives you another heel character that people would not like and want to see lose. But I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you guys think about this one? I'm really curious, because this match, the Fatal 4, is probably the most intriguing match at the WrestleMania show, and I don't know who will win. I'll talk about this later in my preview, but I'm still curious. So what do you guys think? Please put in the comment section below. And before I go on, I did want to mention Corey Graves says that like WrestleMania will be Rusev Day, and Bobby Roode, there's like the sly WTF phase, like, what are you talking about, Rusev Day? Like, it was hilarious. Bobby Roode was on commentary. You get a backstage segment with the New Day, Usos, and the Bludgeon Brothers all talking about how to watch WrestleMania this weekend. If you don't have a membership for the WWE Network, it'll be free. You can watch it on your computer, laptop, tablet, all that good stuff. And the Usos like, yeah, you can watch us retain the titles, and the Bludgeon Brothers come out of nowhere. Everybody kind of scatter, and they like take off their mask and then destroy a camera on the ground. I wish we would have had a better tag team segment than what they gave us, but I guess the New Day, the Usos, and Bludgeon Brothers already sold themselves. Like, you were just ready to see these guys go at it. So, I don't know. Then we get an 8-man tag match, which consists of Breezango, Ty Dillinger, and Zack Ryder versus Baron Corbin, Mojo Rawley, Dolph Ziggler, and Primo. The heels win in this match, and Baron Corbin is the one who stands tall at the end of this match, and he goes out and look at the Andre the Giant trophy, and pretty much saying like two-time Andre the Giant champion. So that was that. Then we get a surprise hijacking. We get Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn hijack SmackDown, and they pretty much saying like, you know, we're going to be so sorry for Daniel Bryan, because his kid will never be able to see Daniel get a victory, and they will never be able to play with Daniel Bryan again after what we do to him at WrestleMania. His wife should be ashamed for letting him come back, because we're about to destroy Daniel Bryan. And they pretty much just goes off on a rant and tangent, and they get the mic cut off on them. So as they get the mic cut off on them, they're leaving the building. Daniel Bryan and Shane O'Mac comes out. They get there, give it a talk, and they pretty much say like, you know what? After WrestleMania, you guys won't be here anymore. Y'all get used to singing this song, na 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 na, yeah, hey, hey, goodbye. That whole song, and that's pretty much the go home for those guys, and that's it. Finally, we get the main event for SmackDown. We get Shinsuke Nakamura and AJ Styles versus Gable and Benjamin. And it's a good match, decent match, but it really comes down to AJ Styles getting the victory. So AJ Nakamura wins. A brawl breaks out with Gable and Benjamin beating down Nakamura and AJ. AJ and Nakamura take care of Benjamin and Gable. And then as Nakamura's in the ring, he's like kind of groggy. He's like taking care of one of the two guys. AJ's on the outside of the ropes. He jumps up about the springboard for the phenomenal forearm, stops right in front of Nakamura, who ducks. And then Nakamura kind of looks up at AJ. AJ looks down and Nakamura taps him on the head and pretty much saying like, payback, and walks away with Nakamura looking furious. Like, this is the first time you see Nakamura look angry and not like goofy or excited. He just looks mad. So that's a go home for SmackDown. And once again, I had no issue with this go home for SmackDown. You know, I'm just ready for WrestleMania. I am ready. I think this could be one of the best WrestleMania literally in the past 10 years. So I'm excited for this, and let's go. Let's go. Preview time. So it's time for the WrestleMania preview. So I'm going to just go down the list here, have a bunch of matches, I guess all the matches listed out. So let's start off, I'm going to go backwards here because I think it'd be better to end on a good note instead of a bad note. So let's start off with the Elias segment. I think Elias Sampson is going to have a segment at WrestleMania. He's going to get interrupted by somebody. It's going to be a Hall of Famer or somebody that's really popular. I'm not sure who it will be, but guaranteed he's going to get interrupted by somebody. Heck, hope it's at the Kid Rock segment. Like, Elias comes out trying to play music. Kid Rock interrupts him, which could lead us into the John Cena segment. So John Cena, I will think, will sit front row at WrestleMania for at least the first 4 or 5 matches. Maybe 4 to 3 matches. Let's say 4 to 3. He'll sit in the front row watching it. The Elias segment will happen. Elias thought he was to do his song. Kid Rock interrupts him. This is me going off with like everybody else kind of speculates. So Steven Larson kind of speculating this. What Culture, Cultaholics, Russell Talk. Like, everybody kind of speculating this. So this is my speculation of it. Because they said Kid Rock was the original Undertaker, Biker Undertaker theme song. So I'm thinking what's going to happen is Elias does a segment. Kid Rock interrupts him, which brings out the Undertaker, who calls out John Cena right there in the front row. John Cena gets over it. They have their match with Undertaker getting the victory and finally setting it done. He's done. He's going home. He's retired. Right off into the sunset with his motorcycle, fist raised. So that is my little segment there. Probably won't happen at all. The Women's Battle Royale. It's going to come down to Sasha Banks and Bayley. Bayley's going to get the victory. It makes sense to shoot that rivalry even further. Have them go at it at SummerSlam, but just keep that one going. Like, I don't think it'd be right to put a SmackDown person winning. I think Bayley is going to get the victory there. The Andre the Giant Battle Royale. I think we'll get a surprise victory, or a surprise return. It's going to be a surprise. I'm not sure who's going to be, but it's going to be a surprise return, and they're going to get the Andre the Giant championship or trophy. It's going to be somebody who's not on the roster right now, who's probably injured, and they'll come back, surprise return, and get that. The Bar versus Braun Strowman for the Raw Tag Team Championship. Big Show is going to be Braun Strowman's tag team partner, and they will win the tag team championship. And this is going to be like kicking off Big Show's last year in the business. I think this has been one of the best ways for him to ride off, having a tag team championship run with Braun Strowman, just being really like undefeated until the Authors of Pain come up and beat them. I think this would be great. So, yeah, the Bar will lose against Braun and his surprise partner, which I think is the Big Show. Daniel Bryan, Shane O'Mac versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are going to win. They're going to win and keep them on Raw and keep them on SmackDown. It'll be a cool little rivalry to see Daniel Bryan versus Sami Zayn, Daniel Bryan versus Kevin Owens. Keep them there. I don't see Daniel Bryan winning. I see Shane O'Mac taking the pin. So there's that. Ronda and Kurt versus Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. Just give it to Ronda and Kurt. Ronda's first night. give it to her. Let Stephanie and Trips put the do the honors and putting them over. So that's why I'm going with Ronda and Kurt. The Usos versus the New Day versus the Bludgeon Brothers. The Bludgeon Brothers win this match. You know, I want to see like the New Day get a title match and or the Usos keep it. I think the Bludgeon Brothers should take it and just have a heel tag team with the belts on SmackDown. This is a tough one. And the reason why I say that is because you want a heel to win a championship on WrestleMania. You want a heel to keep the belt. And at least one of the women's championships, because you don't want, I guess, you could have Nia win, but maybe Carmella cashes in. I don't know. I don't think Alexa Bliss will win because the message they're trying to make here against bullying. So Nia should win this match. Maybe a surprise cash in from Carmella. Then you get the Miz versus Balor versus Rollins. The Miz going to retain that belt and he's going to keep the Intercontinental title for a little bit longer. Rusev Day versus Bobby Roode versus Randy Orton versus Jinder Mahal for the U.S. Championship. I'm going to go with Jinder on this one. I'm going to go with Jinder not retaining, but taking that belt. I'm going to go with him winning the championship. Why not? He looked the weakest on SmackDown. Rusev got taken after getting the victory. Randy Orton and Bobby Roode the only two who really stood tall, and they can have a whole rivalry alone without a belt. So let Jinder take it, and Rusev and Jinder go at it for the next few months. Why not? What's the worst that can happen? Asuka versus Charlotte. Asuka wins. Just keep the belt on. Let's give the belt to Asuka. Lesnar versus Roman. Roman Reigns win. And AJ versus Nakamura. Nakamura wins. Hands down. And that is the preview for WrestleMania. I think it's going to be one of the best WrestleManias of all time. And I'm looking forward to seeing it. What do you guys think? Please put in the comment section below what you guys think of this episode of Look Back Wrestling Show. See you guys next time. Keep being awesome. Thank you guys for watching this episode. I really appreciate it. Please like, comment in the comment section below, and please subscribe for more episodes of Grind Towards Success, movie breakdowns, or whatever it is you're watching on my channel. I have different stuff from interviews to other movie reviews to wrestling reviews. If you're a wrestling fan, please subscribe if you want to see all that and see what's going on. Also, you can follow me on Snapchat here. Follow me on Instagram there to see what I'm doing in my personal life as well as my business and Ninja Warrior. And lastly, you can watch the last episode of Grind Towards Success here. And you can watch the last episode of Movie Breakdowns there. Thank you guys once again. I really appreciate it. See you next time. Keep being awesome.